Hello there and welcome to this special show here on Euronews, which is all about the EU's startup and scale-up strategy. Earlier we had a conversation with the EU's commissioner responsible for startups and a couple of experts. Take a look.
I think that we've gotten to a point in the itinerary of Europe where member states need to lean in. Paul-Henri Spaak, some 30 plus more years ago, decades ago, said that Europe is comprised of two groups of states, right? Small states and states that have not yet realized they're small. I think we really need to kind of embrace that. This is decades-old wisdom that's come to the fore, right? There's no country in Europe that statistically matters at a global level. And so the only way, the economy of scale, that either on the buy side of technology or on the sell side of technology, it only makes sense for citizens if it's for 450 million citizens.
And that's the scary reality, isn't it?
Yeah, so
that scaling up is really hard.
That's the buck stops there, I think. The buck stops at member states to say, wow, I'm holding back 450 million citizens. I'm not holding back my 5 or my 10 or my 30 or my 50 or my 60.
And I see more and more member states actually speaking with everybody. They really want, and they are working together in the forums that we create, research, for example, European Research Area Forum or Innovation Council Forum. They discuss how together to develop these strategies to supporting startups. So this is really promising momentum.
But when you hear the Commission promise to cut red tape, does that give you hope? Stefan, what's the community saying?
A lot of hope. And the community is pushing for that. And there is now a real momentum. Europe is complicated. It is complex. But we can overcome some of the barriers already. Because, for example, in the tech B2B area, they need access to companies. So if a startup from Stockholm needs access to a client or to a company from Munich, I'm already there and can help because this is what I'm doing with teams from Munich. So we can already help. And I think this is what we should think about, everyone. How can we contribute to advance and progress Europe?
And just you mentioned Stockholm, the company Lovable, the AI very fast growing company, that's a big success story, but they're registered in Delaware.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good.
Well, you go where the investors and where the capital is, right? So investors flock to where certainty lies, right? So if the more uncertainty, the more complicated the landscape, the more you're going to have reservations about investing.
But Letizia, what about when it comes to getting talent here and retaining talent? Is that a challenge you're facing?
I think it is a challenge. What I see in my reality, the early development, the beginning of the startup, is that we do have a lot of talent. What we miss is those dual citizens or dual language talent that can also speak business and entrepreneurship. And then the other thing is the mobility of talent. I come and I operate in Italy now, and I find it very difficult because of, again, fragmentation and diversity of legislation to move talents around. And there's a lot of roadblocks to that.
Everything starts with talent. A proposal that will come later, the end of the next year, which is European Research Area Act, to allow the free movement of talent across the continent, which will also help the talented people to stay in Europe.
If our viewers today are watching and they have a great idea and they want to stay in Europe, but they're worried and they're being attracted elsewhere, what would be your message to them to stay and take that risk?
All the principles that make up European life today, the healthcare, the education, all the things that we love dearly, they're all upheld by some engine of economic growth. And I think longer the past are the days where a handful of corporations could actually uphold 450 million citizens living like that. I think we've gotten to a point where we need to absolutely multi-generationally lean in and start inventing the future. And that takes grit, tenacity, patience, but it also takes these animated conversations between us as Europeans.
Letizia?
I would say take pride on being in Europe and doing it from Europe. It's not perfect. There's a lot we can do to merge, integrate better, but just do it. Take pride and do it. And the quality of the people and the science is amazing. So it's just a matter of rolling up our sleeves and doing it.
We need more successful startups and successful scale-ups, and then companies will work with them, and then this will create more opportunities. So let's really continue what we have started. And there are so many great examples of successful companies. We need to talk about these successful companies, showcase them, and then there are so many opportunities.
Europe is the best place, the European Union, to live. So we are really determined, the Commission, and we are working very hard really to be also the best place to scale company. And I believe it will happen. And I heard a lot of companies who left Europe and they back because of the talented people, because of the way of life, because we have excellent scientists. I mean, that's why. To be successful, you always need to be surrounded by good people. And we have these people in Europe.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, for being with us. Thank you so much, Michael, Letizia and Stefan. Keep in touch and see you soon here on Euronews.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you can watch the whole conversation on our YouTube channel or also on Euronews.com. Thanks for watching.